Welcome to VLSI design video. We were looking at design and verification with PLDs. This is lecture 2. In this lecture we will be looking at implementing functions in FPGAs and implementing functions using Shannon's decomposition theorem. The objective of this video lecture is to implement functions in FPGA. So first we will see what are the logic realization techniques what we have. There are two fundamental methods employed by vendors for the programmable logic blocks used to form the medium-grained architectures referred in the previous section. So they are called as MUX based and lookup table based. So in the MUX based, this is based on the Shannon's decomposition theorem, which states that let f of x be a switching function on n variables, then f of a can be factored as ai into f1 plus ai bar into f2. So this f of a can be written as ai into f1 plus ai bar into f2, or it also can be written as, if the function is of so many number of variables like a1, a2 and so on an, the function of many variables which is a1, a2, an, then it can be written as a1 bar into f of 0, a2, and so on an. That means a1 is taken out, it is complemented, and in the function for the first term, that is a1, it is made as 0 because a1 is already taken out, and it is made as 0 and remaining will stay as it is, plus a1, it is uncomplemented form. So in the function it is taken up as 1, remaining variables as it is. Getting with me? See, the function is with the variables a1 to a10. So a1 is taken out. First it is complemented, and in the first place where the a1 is present, it is replaced by 0, and here it is uncomplemented form a1, so it is represented by 1 here. It is replaced by 1 in a1 place. So this is how the Shannon's decomposition theorem is applied. So let us look into the example. Here I have an example which is a function of 3 variables a, b and c. You can look at here a, b, c, and output is y, or the function is y. So what is y is ab plus c. A 3 input function is taken, y is ab plus c. So if I have y is ab plus c, then my truth table will be resulting as 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. For all the 3 input combinations of ABC, my output y will be coming out to be of this column, y column, for these 3 input variables. Now I want to decompose it. So how I need to decompose? So I want to, if you look at, I have taken only BC, because in the A, if you see here, it is a bar. For first half, if you look at, what is the first half here? It is a bar of this BC, okay, and then a of this particular BC. Are you able to get with me? In the previous slide what I have shown you, the first variable is complemented, and in the first variable we will be replacing it with 0, and in the second one we will be adding it with the uncomplemented form, and in that variable we will be replacing it with 1. Similarly is done here. So I hope you might have got it what I have explained here. ai bar and that function replaced with 0, and the a1, that function replaced with 1. So you can look here, 0 the same function and 1 the same function. Getting? So now here if I take out this ai bar and a, what I am going to multiply, now you can see here BC, it is now removed because ai bar and ai, so it is simplified as b, c and y. Same thing is pasted here, copied and paste, or same thing will be here. So now if we look at this one, 0 1 0 1 till this part, till the half part, if you see, c and y are similar. Yes, isn't it? The c and y are similar. So this I can write y1, the half portion I am writing it as y1, y1 equals c. Getting with me? y1 equals c. What about y2? y2 is, you can see here, 0 or 0 is 0, 0 or 1 is 1, 1 or 0 is 1, 1 or 1 is again 1. So now my y2 will be b plus c. So this again is further decomposed into y1 as c and y2 as b plus c. So using Shannon's decomposition theorem, we can write it as a bar into c plus this one, a bar into c plus a into b plus c, because this we have written as b plus c and this part we have written as c. And what is this part? It is a bar because it is 0. And what is this part? It is a because it is 1. So it is written as a bar c plus a bar into b plus c. Getting? So the same example, we can write y2 as y3 plus y4, and y2 is, again here you can see here, y2 is b bar, this again you can see here, the half portion what we have seen here, this one again, this b plus c, again I want to decompose it. So if I want to decompose this again, you can see here half of it is 0 and other half is 1. So I can make it b bar and b. So it is b bar into c plus b into 1. The b plus c what we had before is further decomposed. So this y2 is written as b bar into c plus b into 1. So how do we implement now? Now y is, when a is 0, a bar into c plus a into b plus c. This is what we had the function, right? So you can see here a bar into c plus a into b plus c. So that's what is the mux property? When a is 0, it follows c. When a is 1, it follows b plus c. So it is a bar into c plus a into b plus c. This is the actual mux. But this is further simplified because we made it b plus c. So this is b bar c. B plus c also is further simplified or decomposed. So b bar c plus b, the previous one, b bar c plus b into 1. So that is written as b bar c b. So this b bar c plus b, and this c is again c. The same c is connected here. This is for b plus c what we have done. The b plus c what we have done here. This b plus c is decomposed and made it this. So this is written here. C has to be connected as it is, and a is also connected as it is. So this is what it is decomposed and implemented in the form of muxes in the FPGAs. And another possible implementation is directly take a bar, a into b. Again you can take up the x and you can take up the c bar and c. Okay, so likewise again you can add up all these and you can implement the, but here the thing is the number of multiplexers will increase. Next is the LUT based. An n input LUT is that it can implement any possible n input combinational. The underlying concept behind LUT is very relatively simple. A group of input signals is used as an index. Index means like a pointer to a lookup table. That means we are looking into the index of the contents and we follow those. Okay, so that's why it is called as lookup table. The contents of this table are arranged such that the cell pointed to by each input combination contains the desired value. Let's see the lookup table implementation. So see here you can see a what is our function? AB plus C, isn't it? Our function is AB plus C. So here you can see these are all nothing but the pass transistors. All are nothing but the NMOS. NMOS gates are connected to C, C bar, B, B bar and A bar. If you look at, see, this is C and this is C bar. C bar is connected to this NMOS gate, this NMOS gate, this NMOS gate and this NMOS gate. Similarly, this is B and B bar. This is A and A bar. Okay. But what are the cell contents? These are nothing but single SRAM cell. Looking into the table of contents, what are these table of contents? These are like pointer or index, and this index have to be stored the values which we are going to implement as a function, so that those only will be passed. So if I take AB plus C, if I go back and show you here the table, this is the AB plus C. What is my Y? Y 0 1 0 1 0 triple 1 0 1 0 1 0 triple 1. You can see here 0 1 0 1 0 triple 1. Getting? Similarly here 0 1 0 1 0 triple 1. This is using transmission gates and this is using pass transistors. So in the pass transistors, now as I said, if I take A, B, C, all three 0, if all these three are 0, my 0 has to be selected. This is my LSB. Here this is my first combination. Here this is my first combination. So when all the three are 0, which is activating now? This will be activating the inverted form. This will be activating and this will be activating. That means my this NMOS is closed switch. Now here this NMOS and this NMOS is closed switch. Since this is open, now I don't need to look at this section. Getting with me? So this is closed switch, this is closed switch, and this one will make this as closed switch. So there is a connection for the Y to get connected with 0. Getting? I will take you the next combination. 0 0 1. A is 0, B is 0, C is 1. Okay. So when 0 0 1, it should follow 1. Okay. So 0 0. A is 0, B is 0. So this line of MOSFETs will be selected. This line of MOSFETs will be selected. But C is 1, so this line of MOSFETs will be selected. That means they will be acting as closed switch, because gate to the gate we are giving high input. Okay. Now since you can see here, this is closed but this is open. As I already said, because of this one, this MOSFET is closed switch, and because of this one, this as well as this is closed. But here, since it is open, again there is no connection for this. So now this one, and here not this, but this is connected. So one will be connected and passed as the output wire. Getting? So this is how, looking into the table of contents, LUT based. So inside again the LUT we have all these structures, either that is implemented using transmission gates or it is implemented using the pass transistors. They are called as pass transistors. Just they will pass like a switch, open and closed. Transmission is also like open and switch, but here to the gate we are giving ABC. Here the third terminal is called as a control terminal. To the control terminals we are giving ABC as inputs again. Similarly here you can see for any pass transistor we have inverted and non-inverted. This is non-inverted and this is inverted. So whenever we have inverted, for that if logic 0 is given, then it will be acting as a pass gate. And for a non-inverting, when we give the logic high as input, then it will be acting as a pass gate, like a closed switch. You can imagine like a closed switch or open switch. So here also you can see when all the three are 0, which should be activated where we have the bubbles or the small circles, because for the low category control, when the control signal is low, the bubble side or the C bar side will be activated. So you can see this is not activated, this and these are activated, this is activated, and for C also the inverted ones are activated. So you can see here, since this is activated, this is activated, and this is activated, since this is not activated, open, so even though these connections are established, there is no use because this is already open. So now we need to look into this stage. So here also this is open, so there is no connection between these two. Now this is also open, so there is a connection between this one, so 0 will be passed. We know when all the 3 are 0 for AB plus C, 0 has to come out. Similarly, when all are 1, this has to come out. I will show you. When all are 1, as I told you, the non-inverted form, the non-inverted transistor like this one will be activated, or will be acting as a closed switch. So you can see this is passed here. So likewise, you can take any combination or any input and you can verify and check out. But only thing is, the LUT implementation is, first the indicator index or the pointer will store the storage elements like what we are trying to implement. So looking into the table of contents, this will now make up either using the pass transistors or transmission gates and will be implemented. Now coming to the number of LUTs, how many number of lookup tables we need. It has been statistically concluded that a 4 input lookup table is best for FPGA devices. You can have 2 input lookup table, you can have 6 input lookup table, but generally 4 input lookup table is best for FPGA devices. One additional advantage of lookup table based programmable block is that the SRAM, the cells forming the LUT, can be used as a small block of RAM. What is RAM? Random access memory. Suppose you are not implementing any of these functions and these storage elements, if they are storing as it is, so how many I have here? 8. So I can make use of a 8-bit array RAM. So it will be storing 8-bit elements. So such advantage is also available with LUTs. This is referred to as distributed RAM. If I have 16 cells, it will be 16 by 1 RAM. If I have 8, it is 8 by 1 RAM. So likewise, based on the size, I can make it use as a distributed RAM. Also, all the SRAM cells are effectively connected in a chain. This is so as to facilitate the programming, but this offers a new possibility of using this chain as a shift register. Because of all these advantages, majority of today's FPGA architectures are LUT based. Thank you for watching.